What is going on, you guys? So today I'm bringing guys a brand new sports cards video. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the massive danger that I see happening in the sports card hobby with boxes and people opening up boxes, and we're going to be going over some ROI things. Of course, everyone knows that opening up boxes is gambling, but I'm going to be shining some more light onto the actual odds that you have that may be more surprising than you think. So without further ado, let's hop right into the video. Alright guys, so as you guys know, a lot of breakers have been buying these boxes on the secondary market, and it has been causing some prices to be extremely high. Of course, if you look at 2023 hobby football, for example, it's around a $900 box on eBay, sells for a little bit more, on other markets. But across the board, we are seeing some pretty high, box prices in general. And we're going to be pretty much going over a lot of these box prices and then some of the hits that you can pull in these boxes, and pretty much going to be breaking down whether I think buying boxes has any upside, even if you're gambling, whether this is the route to go or whether you should go maybe a different route, whether it's repackers or any other route that people want to go when it comes to gambling. So as we know, CJ Stroud is still likely the best quarterback from the 2023 draft class, and a lot of his cards, that can be pulled in that box, that are considered the chase cards. We're going to be going over kind of what you have to pull to actually break even or make money from those boxes. So for example, there's a lot of common cards that you might hit. A lot of people hope to hit CJ Stroud Prism Silver cards, for example. And if you hit this card and graded a PSA 10, there's close to 2,000 of them in a PSA 10. But this card right here is sitting at around a $375 card overall. And his market has been coming down a little bit. The thing with boxes is when the main players in their draft class go down in price, it takes a little bit for the box prices to go down as well. Because you still see a lot of people, buying in and holding these boxes, and the box supply overall goes down over time. So you're going to see less and less sealed boxes as breakers open them up. So the supply is going down. So technically, even if the demand is going down to some extent, the price won't drop because the supply and the demand is usually keeping up. The demand's usually at least keeping up with the supply. So you're going to see box prices stay pretty steady as cards, individual, prices of cards are going down. So for example, if you were to hit 2 CJ Stroud Silver Prisms, grade them both a PSA 10, if you don't even consider grading costs, you're still not breaking even, buying that box. Of course, you have the big hits that people are hoping to hit. For example, a CJ Stroud Prism Gold. This is a card, even the variation, if you pull, you're going to make money. If you do pull that card, there's only 10 of them out there. So that is the main thing that you have to consider, is that it's not a common card to pull. You're not going to be hitting them frequently. But a lot of his other, even short prints, if you look at a black and red checker, this card came out extremely expensive. This card right here in a PSA 10 was over $3,000 when the box price was roughly the same. And now the box price, is the same, but the card is now worth under $2,000. So it's, the odds of getting that card and grading it a PSA 10, there are only 8 of them out there, and you make some money, but you're probably not making too much. If I were to guess, a PSA 9 right now would probably sell for around $1,000. So with grading fees, if you pull an insane pull like this, black and red checker, a super short print, you graded a PSA 9, which is pretty average, you're probably around break even, if that. So there's just a lot of economics that I think are not adding up in the overall wax space. You can look at basketball as well. We could just pick a random draft class, Prism Hobby from 2021. Of course, this is not the most coveted year, but you do have some pretty cool pulls out of that box. Of course, 2021 would be Cade. This is around a $700 hobby box. Cade has been doing extremely well recently, but if you look at a lot of his, common chase cards that people actually have good chances of pulling. If you look at, for example, a red, white, blue in a PSA 10, this card's only a $70 card. And that's if you pull the card and grade it a PSA 10 and spend money on grading fees. Of course, this is a more common card you're going to pull, but it's still a cool pull from the box. But you're not even going to make back, a tenth of what you spent on the box if you pull that and grade it a PSA 10, not even including grading costs. We can look at a numbered card. This would be an actual chase card for a lot of people. A red prism out of 299. Only 19 people have graded this a PSA 10, and this card would not even, after considering grading fees, you're pretty much making half back of what you spent on grading fees plus the box. If you pull this card and you're one of the 19 lucky people to grade it in a PSA 10. So I think when people are breaking boxes, they realize they're gambling, but the upside is pretty much only I'm seeing with Prism Golds and Prism Black Finites, of course, and the super coveted parallels. Those are really the only parallels that I see people at least breaking even on. If you look at, for example, like a Jaden Daniels camo prism out of 25, that would be one of the rare instances where you're actually going to make a good profit off of buying a box. It's really, from what I'm seeing, overall, if we want to generalize, we're seeing out of 25s and below, or really the cards that have been holding up value, in terms of box breaking. So then you look at, you opening up a box and the odds of you getting, first of all, the best player in the product. So if you're not getting the best player in the product and an out of 25 or below, 95% of the time you're going to be losing money on the box, if not more than that. But that's being conservative. I would confidently go out and say that. So if you look at, the golds, the black finites, the mojo prisms, you have some upside there if you're pulling the best player in the box. But even if you're pulling, a decent rookie such as Sengun, if you look at a Sengun mojo prism from 2021, this would be an extremely great hit from the 2021 prism box. If you pull this card out of 25 of probably the second best rookie in that draft class, you graded a PSA 9, there are only 6 of them, you hit the lottery, you're not even breaking even on your box plus the grading fees. And I think that really puts things into perspective. It's like, if you're opening up that box, this card right here would be one of the chase cards. Like, if you pull this card, I would consider you an extremely lucky box breaker. And if you graded a PSA 9, you're probably not making your money back. And if we do the same with 2022 and 2023, you're going to see the same things, whether it's a guy like Bo Nix, even with one of the hottest products, you're probably still not making too much money if you pull one of his best cards. And he's one of the greatest rookies in that draft class. So I think a lot of people are not quite aware of how big of a risk they're taking, or at least even if they understand the risk they're taking, I think a lot of people don't understand the odds of you actually making money. Of course, if you're someone who, breaks boxes for fun, that is a totally different story, and this video probably does not apply to you. But if you're someone who opens up boxes and thinks you really have a chance at pulling great cards, you of course do, but I think you should really realize, a lot of the great cards you're pulling, you're probably still not going to make your money back. There are only 300 LaMelo Prism Silvers in a PSA 10, and if you are one of those lucky 300 people who open up that box and spend $800, you're only making $300 back, not including grading fees. So I think a lot of, I wish I had more hard statistics to show you guys, but I'm trying my best to explain it with these type of cards, these hit cards, these cards that are probably, in 1 in 50 boxes that a lot of people consider hits. And I'm showing you guys that you're probably not even making your money back with a lot of these cards. Of course, there are some rare cards. You got a LaMelo Tiger Stripe, which would be an absolutely outstanding card to pull in 2020 Prism, probably the hottest rookie right now. Him and Anthony Edwards, those two have been carrying the box. But you're still not making much money after you pay grading fees, after you hit this great card, after you get it in the highest grade you could get for the card, at least, the highest grade that has been graded. So I think definitely if you're opening up boxes, I'm not saying not to open up boxes. I'm saying at least to be aware of the odds you have of making money and it being profitable. And if you're doing it for fun, you're willing to lose money, totally go for it. It's a great part of this hobby that I think a lot of people enjoy, and I personally enjoy as well. But do so responsibly, and I hope y'all enjoy this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like and subscribe. I'm really grateful for all the support you guys have been showing me recently. And let us know in the comment section below some videos that you guys want to see. Any specific videos. It could be a specific player video, a specific set video that you guys want me to go over. I'd be happy to take a look at that and make a video about it. So without further ado, we're going to close out the video.